One moment. Hold on, I'm just checking something. I was trying to make sure that I have my stream set up while I do this because that way I can check if my stream goes down. I had some buggy issues. Okay, so anyway, you guys, good morning. I wanted to just tell you what happened yesterday because I know there's a lot of questions about how did you guys overlook things, what happened, and there was some comments saying that it was a fake video and it definitely wasn't. So first of all, right? We definitely were at the Tesla location. So this is the rant video that I did. You're going to see a lot of overlap about what I said yesterday with today. And what happened was this. So we go and we pick up a car from Tesla. It was actually bought used off, hold on. It was actually bought used off Tesla's website directly. So if you look at this, right, you see this, type in your delivery code. This is just an example that I use. Let's say you wanted to buy the 2019 Model 3. You look at the prices. I mean, this stuff is actually, in my opinion, more expensive than the new models because I think, well, was it the Model 3 starts at what, 40, 45 or so? And now they want 59,000. Now, keep in mind, this probably has, was it, full self-driving capability, but the Tesla car doesn't depreciate. So let's say you wanted to, like, check this, right? Get this car. You click on it, and they don't show you pictures of how the actual car looks. You get these stock images. See that? So let's see. Oh, see this? So if you wanted to view details over here, and again, this is Tesla.com. All it tells you is it gives you the color. It tells you what the wheels are. Tells you get full self-driving, the heated seats. But it's not like a Craigslist ad. It's not like a regular dealership where you see the actual car. So when we picked up the car, when the car was purchased, we knew that it had, X amount of miles. It was already located in New York. We knew the color. We knew the wheels. We knew the interior. This one, for example, has the premium interior, the white and the black. I personally prefer the black, but Lewis didn't want to wait 9 to 11 weeks for the brand new one, so he said, F it. I'll just get the used one with the white and black interior. We'll see if there's any dye transfer in terms of his jeans. So this is the reason why when people are criticizing, like, oh, you have a car in poor condition, when it was purchased, right, when it was ordered, you can't tell. You can't tell. And this one, I don't know if it's a dealer car, but yeah, see, this one has a VIN number over here, right? So this one says it was previously repaired. So it said that it had an accident, it was repaired, but still, look at this. Look, they still want 59,000 for that. Isn't that crazy? So this car looks like it got into an accident, and it's for a car model that is like 2 years old. They still want $59,000, 200. So the Tesla does not depreciate. It actually seems like it appreciates, and I'm sure someone is going to buy it. Again, Lewis did not want to wait for the car because he wanted to see his dad. So he wanted to drive over to see his dad, and yeah, so that kind of thing. So what happened yesterday is we went to pick up the car, and this is an actual Tesla, a Tesla dealership. And I know people would probably say, oh, this, like, look at this, okay? So this is a car that Lewis has. You can see it. It's on the right-hand side. You can also see this part over here. You see all these cars over here? They're all Teslas. Why? Why are they all Teslas? Because this is the Tesla dealership. So I see Zoltan saying, and I just want to say this because I'm sure Zoltan's not the only one, right? He says, this is not a dealership lot. You keep spreading false information. It's a delivery center. Many times it's a temporary center rented for the end of the quarter. Now, I commented on this, and other people, Jake from State Farm, that's actually a username, said that there is a dealership, and I wanted to show you this is the actual location that we picked it up from. So it's been around since, if you look at it, it's been around since 2016. This is not a pop-up or anything like that. It's actual big location. Yesterday when we were there, I did not see any demo cars, like showroom cars. It was completely clear. I don't know if they sold out of all their cars, who knows, but there was no cars in the showroom but there's obviously a service station. You can see it on the right hand side, and then you see above the service station, you see that row of windows there. One space is an office, and the other one is where the cars are picked up. So that is where you saw this picture over here. You see, and if you don't believe me, look at the windows. See the windows over there. See the windows above the service station. See those? Yeah. So all this stuff is just like background information. So it was purchased online, picked it up yesterday at one of the levels. I forgot which level it was. It was either the second level or the third level, because one is office space. I accidentally went to the office space. So what happened is that we picked it up, and the parking garage, as you guys can see, it's kind of dim. It might look well lit here, but it's actually not very well lit at all. So I see the car, and Lewis and the guy is talking. I go into the car, and then it's kind of like I'm just like looking a little, right? And I'm like, oh wow, first thing you look at when you look at a car, you're like, oh wow, wow, this is different than I expected. You have that little shop. Now I did notice that there was some scuff marks on the door inside, and I thought like, oh my goodness, how come they didn't clean this off? But I thought, you know what, maybe it's just like two little scuff marks. That's okay. So I asked the guy because they had that not Magellan. I keep pronouncing it wrong. That Maguire or something like that. They have a cleaning spray, but I'm thinking like I just want to. I don't want to make a big fuss about it. So what? Lewis wipes his car down all the time. I asked him, just give me a cleaning spray, give me a microfiber cloth. I wipe it down myself. Yesterday was my birthday, and it's like I didn't want to deal with this kind of stuff. Also, a TMI here, but when women have their monthly time of the month, you don't want to really, like, I don't know about you guys, if you're a female, I just get really tired, right? I'm thinking like I just want to get out of here. I don't want to deal with this stuff. So I just ask for the spray. I clean it because I don't want to make a big fuss. I'm cramping. So I clean it, and then I'm like after I clean it, that takes some time, right? I noticed that there's some conversation about the license plate. So the person who met up with us to give us to do that kind of stuff, they're screwing in the license plate, and I guess there's some sort of issue. And Lewis tells me the guy long screws it, right? And Lewis also asks me, he says, hey Erica, have you seen my car mount? Because he has a cell phone mount he puts for the window. And I thought to myself, oh crap, I didn't know where it was, and I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I dropped it. So I leave this area, and I go down the elevator back to the first floor over here. So you see there's a first floor. There's actually a waiting room on the first floor. So you see the area where it says Tesla? You see those big doors? So we went from either the second or third story from the service center. You see, remember the car was located? And then Lewis is over there with the guy. I go back to underneath where that big Tesla thing is in the waiting room because I think, oh, maybe I dropped the car mount. So I go over there, and then I look around. I don't see it. And then I think, okay, well, I'm next to the restroom. Let me go to the restroom really quick. That takes me 2 minutes. And then I go back in the elevator, accidentally go to the office, and then go back up to the car lot, right? The parking area where the car's waiting. So by the time I get up there, Lewis is already signing paperwork, and then he's telling me about this license plate thing. And I think to myself, like, okay, well, no, okay, well, we'll see how this thing goes, right? So I don't really think too much of it. I do notice there are crumbs in the front area, and I think like not the front area, not the cup holder, but the front, because the front. If you guys are not familiar with the front, you see where the headlights are. There's this little hood thing, and I see some crumbs, and I'm thinking about saying something, and I'm like, you know what? If it's just some crumbs, whatever. I really don't want to deal with this, right? I don't want to make a big fuss because I know Lewis doesn't like waiting, and if it's just like the license plate thing, no big deal. Again, when I went up there, right, it's like I can already see, like, okay, I'm assuming we're gonna this is gonna move, and I'm thinking like, what's going on with this license plate? He's still working on it, and I ask him what's going on. They don't really say anything, but I do hear that they say it has to go back to the service center because it got screwed up. The guy has a drill. He's screwing in the license plate. He screws up. I don't know how. I've never put on a license plate before, but that's what's being told to us. So I assume, okay, no big deal. Let's, no big deal. Okay, get the thing. We'll go back upstairs, right, later on. So Lewis tells the guy, like, okay, take it down to the service center. We will go to lunch. We'll come back. So I'm under the assumption, okay, the car will still be there. License plate will be good, and it'll still be in the parking lot. So we go off to lunch, and then when we come back, the car's not in the second story anymore. You see over here, you remember where I told you it was in the second story service area? It's actually in the front of the building. So you see where it says Tesla, you see that A? You see where there's a car seated right in front of the service center, in front of the, yeah, on the pavement, on the road kind of thing, just parked on the side. That's where Lewis's car was. So he goes in there, right? And I ask him, like, oh, that's it? And he's like, yeah, that's it. They put in the license plate, let's just go. So because of that, right? Because the car's already on the thing and I don't see anybody, no one calls up Lewis or anything like that, I said, oh, okay, well, I guess that's it. So keep in mind, right? Because of the license plate thing, I got distracted and we didn't even look around the whole car. Like I did see certain things, but because this parking area is dim, like it doesn't look that bad, but if you've looked in a parking garage, if the light's not directly like near you, it's kind of dim, like it's dark. Yeah, like that's why it's like I didn't notice a lot of stuff. And then also it's just like hearing about this, thinking about the phone mount, thinking about the license plate thing, going to lunch, coming back. I was like, okay, you know what? So we drive off, right? We drive off, and then Lewis realizes, like, crap, he put his car key inside of the car or something like that. He either gave it to the guy or he put it inside. I can't remember. But when we drove off, probably like 20 minutes later, right, or so, he realizes, like, crap, he doesn't have his car key. He doesn't have the second car key. So when you let's say when you park a car in a parking garage, for instance, you need to give the attendant the parking key in the event that they need to move it. So he only has one car key. So I call up Tesla, because I call up Tesla and I tell them the situation. I say, hey, we got to go back. We got to pick up the car key. And then they tell me that they talked to service, right? Service over here. Well, let me get service over here, and because it went to service, and the person who worked on the car doesn't have it. Maybe the guy who screwed in the license plate or the guy who moved the car, I don't know who it was, right? They have to find out who it was. They took the car key accidentally. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how the hell do you take a car key and then not think, oh, okay, well, let me call the person, when you realize it, right? Like, let me call the person. Or, right, because when you put the car on the street, there's this like underlying thinking, like, okay, your car's ready, just pick it up. In the event that they didn't want him to pick it up, certainly they would give him a call and say, hey, yeah, we actually don't want you to pick the car up. We need you to come back or something like that. But that wasn't the case. So he got no phone call. We only called back Tesla when we realized the car key was missing. And then that's when, that's the kind of thing that it's just like, oh my gosh. So because they don't know where the card key is, maybe a person took it home accidentally. So yeah, Lewis was, because it was dark and it was in the parking garage, like I didn't notice, like there were crumbs in here. There's also issues this is on Lewis's side now, okay? Where you can see that, Sonny said they installed it wrong. There's a break over here. I mean, like you can see the clips over here, right? And again, I'm saying this to you guys because people will probably say, Erica, you're such an idiot. How could you guys not notice this stuff? It was a combination of things plus the lighting that it's like it's actually dimmer. And I spoke to Sonny about it, and Sonny agreed with me because Sonny has brought his car over to Tesla several times. So it's just like that kind of stuff. So I wanted to share this thing with you guys because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. If you guys do pick up a Tesla, even though it might seem, like have your flashlight out, inspect the car, because remember the first Tesla that Lewis got, right? He bought a brand new Tesla. That was the car that got into the accident. If you guys have been following my channel, there was like a 1-inch scratch on the upholstery that he didn't catch. And I thought, like, oh, how could you not catch it? But it's just like when you're picking up a car, it's like I think to myself, like, you really need to like look at every single little space of inch of that car and make sure, because this is the second car that's been picked up from Tesla, and it had a defect in there, and I'm not too sure why this happened, because you would say like, hey, you have technicians, you have like an inspection thing. How does a person who drives a Tesla, the person who, because this thing was transported, right? How do they miss these crumbs? How does the person who even shows us the car miss this stuff too? And then why wasn't this detailed? So if you go over to the service station, you'll see all this detailing stuff, but it seems like they just clean the outside, but they don't really care about the inside very much. And I think, and this is just my opinion, okay? It's like people don't catch this stuff because of the lighting situation. Again, if you look at the parking garage, it's kind of dark. So if you have like light stains in the upholstery, you won't really see it. Imagine if you're kind of like in a dim parking lot, right? And then it's like you can't really see like light stains, or you can't really see certain things because, yeah. And then, you get distracted by certain things. Again, like me, the phone mount, and then the license plate thing, and then having it to go back to service, and then picking up on the sidewalk. It's just like, okay, yeah, it's not like, oh, okay, well, do you want to like look over the car, make sure everything's perfectly fine, take as much time as you need, kind of thing. Yeah, and I know the person who drove the car right down from service. I know someone must have seen these crumbs. Like if Lewis notices stuff, right? Afterwards, you figure the service center must have noticed it. The person transporting the car must. Someone notices stuff, and it was still just given off to the customer. This was not a cheap car. Let me repeat that. This is not like it's like you bought this off Craigslist. You get what you get. This came directly from the dealership. I mean, I don't know how much more legit this can look like, right? Brick building, big Tesla service station parking lot. And yeah, so what has been done about it? Lewis sent off an email, and he has a service appointment. Unfortunately, the service appointment is going to be when I'm gone from Hawaii. I mean, gone from New York. And yeah, so he emailed it. The person that he was in contact with apologized, said they would fix it. But it's just extra hassle because Lewis had these plans. I thought like, okay, while I'm in Hawaii, he can go visit his dad. But now he doesn't want to visit his dad because, his car has all these kind of issues. And again, ultimately, right, we should have checked. But combination of things, that's the reason why we didn't check. I really feel like Tesla, with all their all their service people, all this inspections. I mean, you should sign off on it and say, well, okay, let's check the car, because those people should have more of an eye than a person who just acquired the car, right? Again, there's a service station right there. But who knows? So if you buy a Tesla, regardless if it's new or used from Tesla Direct, I highly recommend grab a flashlight, look at everything, make sure you inspect it really freaking carefully, because you don't want to be driving off with crumbs. You don't want to be driving off with like some sort of gap. You see these clips? Look at this. Look at that. See the clips? So this is on Lewis's side. It isn't on my side. It was actually on his side. And yeah, I didn't see this kind of stuff. So, yeah, and I'm gonna read chat right now. And again, I hope that this doesn't happen to you guys. Second experience, right? First was a small little like the cut in the upholstery for a brand new car. Where the frame is for the windshield. You know how yeah, you see that little pillar of sorts right above the steering wheel here. You see that tan one where the one that goes up from the dashboard all the way up to where the visor thing is. That vertical pillar thing. Yeah, so on the opposite side, the passenger side, there was like I think it was about 1.5, 1 2 inch cut or so, in there. It's just like a horizontal slice. It looked like someone got a safety box cutter and just sliced it. So yeah, Lewis was telling me when he picked up the car, right? He told me about it, and a same day, like a couple hours, and I told him, I said, you got to get this thing fixed. And he was like, Erica, it's not a big deal. And I told him, I said, no, you got to get it fixed because of because it's like you paid for a brand new car. This thing obviously isn't brand new, and if you want to sell it, you got to factor that in. And yeah, uh, so that kind of stuff. So he brought it up to Tesla, and this is, I'm talking about the first car, right? This is his second car, right? His first car, and they gave him a price quote of like $1,000, and I'm thinking like, what the hell? You know, this car, we notified you within, let's say, 12 hours of the damage, and there's a price quote for $1,000. Like, this is crazy. But you know, I guess yeah. So they said they would fix it, and they fixed it for free. But still, that kind of stuff. So Tesla definitely is not perfect. My personal views about this, and I want to say this. I want to say this because some people will say, "Oh, Erica, you just hate Tesla. You know, you don't like Elon. You're just being negative." I've said this before. You know, I have every reason to want to see Tesla do well because I own Tesla stock. I did not know how Tesla was. Like, it's like you don't have that experience, right? So having this kind of experience, seeing how like lackadaisical, lackadaisical things are all around, where you can give a customer a car with these kind of clip issues, with the crumb issues, this kind of stuff. Like, it's just, it makes me shake my head a lot, and it causes people to pick up a car, and then because you have to schedule an appointment, because it's like, okay, you just picked up the car yesterday, you know what, we'll see you next week, not this week, we'll see you next week, to schedule an appointment, and then that kind of stuff. It's just like, I would think that they would say, okay, we're so sorry, bring the car in tomorrow, we'll get a thing fixed immediately. But no, it's like you have to wait in a queue. And I know people will say this sounds really Karen-like, but still, this would have been avoided if we just inspected the car more, and we didn't. And I fully take accountability for it. But I really do think that Tesla dealership, plus their staff, they should have caught this kind of stuff. I think it's pretty shameful to have all these things, and then yeah, and the customer sees this stuff, because at the end of the day, right? Yes, it's easier for the people who work at Tesla, but it actually causes bad PR. It causes people to talk about it, and I'm talking about it right now as someone who, it's like, yes, I do think Tesla is a very safe car, and but they do have huge issues, in my opinion, in terms of how they deliver the car to customers. So yeah, Tesla, the Model 3, it does have an excellent safety rating over here. And this is one of the reasons why Tesla was chosen. Not only was it an electric car, but if Lewis is traveling, especially by himself, and if he gets into a car crash like he did, right, with the Eugene, I don't want him to get injured. And yeah, so I was joking with him, and I was talking to someone while we were waiting for the car. They got a new Tesla, and they said they ordered it in April, and they just picked it up yesterday. I told them, I said, if you get into a car crash, very possible that it's going to go straight to totaled, because the Tesla parts are so fragile, right? It like absorbs the impact, and the Tesla parts are expensive too. And I said, enjoy it while you have it. I hope you don't get into a car crash, but just giving you an FYI. So Lewis's original car that he only had the car for about 2-3 months before Eugene came around and made this turn. Lewis's car, the windshield got all smashed up. It was missing part of the side bumper, and it was missing the front as well. It was also missing the passenger side mirror. It looked terrible, not gonna lie. And I was happy I wasn't in the car, because I thought, "Frig, man, looks like passenger took a lot of the impact." But Lewis was not injured. He didn't even have whiplash. And I thought to myself, you know what? It sucks that the car got totaled, but at least he's safe. And that's the most important thing. But this is something that I really will keep in mind. I do think that if Lewis crashes his car, or if it gets in an accident again, I really do think he'll probably get another Tesla, just being flat out over here. But I guarantee you that if he does pick up another Tesla, 100%, I'm going to go at that thing with a freaking flashlight. And it's, I don't care if I take 30 minutes inspecting this car. I'm gonna definitely be more on guard because, fool me once, fool me twice. I'm not gonna have this happen a third time. And I want you guys to do this for any cars that you pick up, not just Tesla, because it's such an inconvenience to have all these issues and then have to go back because of the frickin', clips. See that stuff? Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, Sunny was sharing his experience too. I do recommend looking at this video. Sunny has a lot of complaints about his Tesla, and he has a Tesla, I think the Tesla Model X. So it was like a $90,000, $100,000 car. I think it's like 2018, but I might be remembering it wrong. 2016, 2018. I can't remember what he said. But yeah, he has like all sorts of issues with his car. Yeah, and that kind of stuff. So just sharing that with you guys. I'm gonna read chat, and sorry if I was a little long-winded. I wanted to give you guys all the details, and if I did forget anything, I don't think I forgot anything. I'm more than happy to address it. Oh, and here's the other thing too. I forgot to tell you guys this, but the bumper. Listen to this. You know how Tesla, when you paint it, it's all one color. The bumper is actually a different color than the rest of the car. So we think that it got repaired because the color does not match. It's like a different shade of white. But they were saying that the car never got into an accident, and it's just like you have a mismatched color white Tesla. So that's another thing that I want to share with you guys too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, thank you for all the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. I had a great birthday, yesterday. I had dinner with Sunny and Lewis. We went to Cheesecake Factory. No, so this was the car that we purchased was actually a demo car. So when you go to Tesla and you test drive a car, that's the car that we purchased. It wasn't like someone sold the car. It's for whatever reason they decided to take it off their fleet. It had like a little less than 2,000 miles on it. So it's not like they just made the car. The car was actually made, I think, around March or April. No, it's actually like the same. It's actually like the same price or a little bit more expensive. Like look at the price of the 2019 Model 3, 59,200. See? And then if you buy the Model 3 right now, the current model, we're talking 2021 model, it's not that expensive. It's not 59,000. It's where is it? It's like 45,000 or something like that, I think. I think Lewis is talking to Tesla, but I'm not too sure. Okay, you guys. So see this? See? So look at the standard range 33, 42, 50, right? This is the 2021 model. See the estimated delivery 9 to 13 weeks. 33, 40, 250. Okay, just remember that. 33,000, 42,000, 50,000. So what they wanted for that used one was 59,000. That's what I'm saying. Like the even if you buy it used with 16,974 miles, it's a 2019 mile thing. It's still more expensive than the newer models. Maybe it'll be a little cheaper, but really not that much. So yeah, so this kind of stuff, like I'm not understanding why you're saying it's not a dealership because it's the location. This is like what do you call this? A place where they have a showroom, they have a service station. Like what do you call this then? I would call this a dealership because they're selling the cars at the showroom, they're test driving the cars, and then they're also servicing the cars. So what would you call this then if you don't say it's not a dealership? Because this location was was made in 2016, so it's not like a temporary location. It's not like they just made a pop-up tent or something like that. This has been around for a while. So Zoltan, what would you call this then? If you don't call this a dealership, what would you call this? Okay, so it's not okay. So dealership can't be okay. So let's just call it a Tesla service station then. I don't like getting into like wording too much because it's like all I'm trying to communicate is Tesla sold this car. It was picked up here. It was purchased online off tesla.com, right? tesla.com. It was picked up at a Tesla storefront. Is that better? Um but I mean like don't get all like uppity about like if I say dealership versus like I think it's like storefront. What am I going to say? This was a building that Tesla rented or leased in 2016, and they sell vehicles from here, and I don't think it makes that much of a difference in terms of the wording. It's like it was sold by Tesla, but this isn't like a scam building or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to get at. I didn't order it on. Well, yeah, there is no way of haggling. It's Tesla. A lot of people like Tesla, and it they go by pretty quickly. So that kind of thing. But I like I said, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Like it kind of irritates me, to be honest, that it's just like this hyper focus about wording about dealership versus location versus I don't know, point of sale. Like I think I'm gonna say like is it more correct if I say Tesla.com sold a vehicle at and it was sent over, it was at another store, I believe. I don't know if it was at this location or another one because it doesn't specify exactly where the demo was from, but it was picked up at this storefront that has Tesla wording on it, which is located right next to a service station, which appears to be owned by Tesla. I'm assuming so, but I could be wrong. Like I don't want to get into that stuff. It's just like if you have a Tesla storefront, if you're selling vehicles, if you're picking up vehicles, I would say it's associated with Tesla. But if it's that much of a big deal, if I use dealership versus that, and it makes people think like you're lying, that's false information. Like it's like, I don't see the big deal. I really really don't. Um, but yeah, it is not just a bit pickup and drop off location. They have a showroom too. So if you look over here, right, there is a showroom. So you can purchase the car from the location if you want to, but that doesn't discredit it as like not a legit place. See? Let me find it. See that? So they have cars inside. And then they also have computers off on the left side and yeah. See? Design studio, things like that. Yeah, yeah, but this is, it's just like a lot of things that it's just like I realize right now, right? Hindsight is 2020. Should have made more of a should have definitely looked at the car more. Should have actually gone over the car with a flashlight, but I didn't, and that's why I'm sharing this kind of stuff. Like I'm fully aware about making this kind of stream, how it comes off at, but I don't think like yes, I do accept, responsibility like I should have checked the car more, but then I question how can Tesla release a car like that? Because I know that this car, the condition that it was in, this is not the only one. Again, the first Tesla that Lewis picked up had that upholstery scratch by in front of the passenger side, where the windshield is. That. So that it's like I don't think they're checking. I think they're really just pushing these cars out for whatever reason. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so just be mindful about it. And again, I'm sharing this with you guys because I don't want you guys making the same kind of thing. If you are in a dark parking lot like this, you're not gonna see any. I did not see any of the upholstery stains at all until we got out of it, until we got out of there, and then we parked the car in natural sunlight, and then it's like, oh, the lighting is so much brighter, and then that's when I was like, why are there so much upholstery, like stains, like not where the seats are, but where like the framing is. Let me show you guys this one. I don't know if Lewis posted a video about this. So, looking for the other view. Okay, so yeah, so when you look over here, here's a view. So you see like on the back seat, right? You see the little archway over the windows. Yeah, I did not realize like around that area, like behind the seatbelt, it seems like there's like these dirty fingerprint marks. I'm like, how the hell do you get dirty fingerprint marks over there? But yeah, that didn't get cleaned out, so all this upholstery stuff has to get cleaned. So yeah, all this stuff I'm gonna take pictures and show it, and yeah, I gotta go back to the car. I didn't want to deal with it yesterday evening, so but today I feel like I'm ready to just like picture, and depending on how things is, I don't mind sharing it with you guys. I personally don't mind sharing you guys pictures of all the flaws because I want to send it over to Tesla and say there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this. And it doesn't make sense. Like a person who's had the car in their possession for less than 24 hours, right? It's like you don't make all that kind of stuff. And again, I wish this car was in much better condition, and it is a learning experience, and now I definitely know better. But again, just don't make the same kind of mistake, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, yep. I don't know what they're doing with their inspect. I don't even think they are inspecting. Like, how do you have all these things, and yeah, it's like it's not caught, right? Like, how do you have crumbs in here, and it's like it's. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. They vacuumed it. So the part where you put your feet in, they vacuumed that area, but they didn't bother to clean the cup holder. See where I'm getting at? That kind of stuff. It's like what? So it seems like whoever's detailing the car is just picking and choosing. They're just doing the bare minimum. It's not like vacuuming all over. It's like, okay, well, what is the customer going to see first? They're going to see where their feet goes. And it's just, I really think all they do is just put the car through a car wash, vacuum where the footbeds are, where you rest your feet. And the rest, it's like whatever. Because they didn't vacuum the front, they didn't vacuum the cup holder, they didn't do all this stuff, they didn't bother cleaning upholstery, and yeah, light stains on the upholstery, but it looks like it's dirt marks. Like frick, like I like I don't know what happened there. Yeah, so I'm gonna take all these pictures, and yeah, let's see let's see what happens. So all this stuff, it's really disappointing. It's really disappointing. But again, I think Tesla does this because they know they will get away with it. They know some people will be like they won't complain, And if they do complain, it's probably just a small percentage of people, because people are probably thinking like, oh, I'm so happy I got a Tesla. But if you're paying this kind of money for a car, like, can you imagine if you got a 2019 Model 3 and your car came in this condition, right? Like, ugh, that's just disrespectful. And yeah, but now I know if this happens again, I'm going to be on guard. I don't care about making a big fuss. And yeah, I definitely know better now, for sure, for sure. Yeah, Ken. So Ken says these are all first world problems. I know, but that doesn't mean that it's okay to tolerate it, right? I do acknowledge that living in a place where you have clean drinking water and running toilets and being able to use things like credit cards and not having to deal with like certain things, right? Like we are very blessed, but it's not like I'm gonna say, well, I should put up with it because it's a first world problem. But yeah, this is just one of those things. Like, you want to feel like you get what you're paying for, and if you get a car in this kind of condition, again, it's just very disrespectful. Yeah. So, um, yeah. So all that kind of stuff. Sunny, you should make a video about your wonderful Tesla if you have not. I heard about what happened to Sunny's Tesla. What I perceive to be as like just unacceptable, and I can't believe it because like Sunny's had his Tesla way longer, right? And he has all these things where, like, for instance, the light in his Tesla is on 24/7. And allegedly, I might be remembering this wrong, Sonny, you can definitely correct me, but he said that the lead technician or the lead person at the Tesla dealership, the same one we went to, the same one that I showed you, they claimed, and this is allegedly, okay? They said that that's a feature and that's how it's supposed to be. And I'm like, wait, a light 24/7? Like, you're refusing to fix it? And yeah, it's really shocking because I'm so used to, like, if you're paying like $90,000 for a car, $100,000 for a car, and you buy it from Tesla, certainly they should take care of you. I mean, like, how hard can it be to fix a light? But for whatever reason, I don't know if Sonny cracked too much Tesla jokes. I don't know if Sonny decided to I don't know, if he pissed off one of the people, or if he dated one of the people at Tesla. Who knows? But yeah, they don't want to help him for whatever reason. Um, but yeah, I really was shocked because I thought, like, you know what, Sonny should have a wonderful working Tesla, and it's also off track. It looks like a bit for the door, so he's made multiple service appointments, and his car is needing more service. And this is when I would say Sonny needs to be a Karen, or just record footage and just like confront people and be like, why is my Tesla the way it is? How come you're not fixing this kind of thing? But nobody wants to be nobody wants to be a Karen, right? You just want to go on with your life. You want to pick up a car and not have to deal with all this BS, and then just get on your way and not have to bring it back because of this an issue. I don't want to make a stream like this, but I feel like I had to because I want you guys to be aware of it, right? First time I wasn't there, this happened. So second time I thought, okay, I'm gonna be on it, and then combination of distractions happened and whatnot, and I wasn't on it. I admit I should have checked more, but I didn't. Also, when you get a car, you don't want to, your first gut instinct is like, okay, well, let's just go, kind of thing. Like, especially if it's parked on the street, right? If it's parked on the street, that implies like just pick it up and go. So we got to get the car key back. I don't know where the hell the car key is, but it's like so Lewis only has one car key. Mm-hmm. Aww. Yeah. So, who knows? Who knows? But I will talk to you guys later. I'm gonna get going, and if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like, let me know, and if I can answer them, I'll answer them. But this was just one experience that I've had, and again, in the future, I will make sure that Tesla, whatever, Toyota, whatever, Lucid, um, Apple car in the future, I will inspect the car with a freaking flashlight, and I will make sure that I look at every little thing. And if I see a flaw, I'm gonna say, nah, not taking this car. You gotta clean it. You gotta make sure it's all perfect before accept it. Don't be so quick to sign off for a car, because once you sign off a car, I think dealerships or um, salespeople or companies can be like, "Ha, that's your responsibility now," and they'll be less inclined to help you in a timely manner, in my opinion, if they know that they've locked you in as a customer and you've agreed to it. That's all. Yeah. So yeah. No, no, no. We had two car keys. We had two car keys, right? And then Lewis left one car key because they said they had to bring it down to service, right? So when we went off to lunch, we came back, right? He forgot about the car key, and he left it inside of the car, and the car key was gone. So yeah, and I'm sure nobody just randomly said, "Hey, let me just take the car key and not take the car." So yeah, um, we got to go back to Tesla and get the car key because the car key is missing. There's two, but there's only one that Lewis has. Yeah, so this was again a demo car. This was one of the cars when you go to a Tesla dealership and then you test drive your cars. This is what it was. So a lot of people been in it. I imagine like 1,000 people have been in it, to be very frank. But at least 500. But yeah, they didn't bother to detail the car, which is kind of funny because if you like I said, if you go over there, it's like you'll see all this like detailing spray, but I think they only detail the outside. They don't really care about the inside. They just detail the outside, vacuum the footbed, and just call it a day, and then hope the customer doesn't notice the rest. It's just like there's a lot of shortcuts, and I imagine like yeah, it's just shocking to me. No, they vacuumed up the footbeds, but they didn't vacuum up the rest of the car. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because when you walk into a car, the first thing you look at is the footbed, right? So if the footbed looks clean, you don't really think, okay, let me check the rest of the car. So whoever was vacuuming the car, whoever was detailing the car, they missed a lot of steps. But it's not just that. It's the person that moved the car, the person that was in the car right before us, the technician who worked on the car, the technician or whoever drove the car out on the street, they saw all these things and they didn't think, hey, let's go and make sure this car is vacuumed properly before we give it. So there was more than a person. There was more than two people, more than three people, in my opinion, that saw these issues and they just say like, oh yeah, whatever. Probably not my problem kind of thing. Yeah. So allegedly they claim the car was never in an accident, and that's why I want to be there, because I want to be there in person, and talk to them about it and say, hey, well, why is this a different color? What's going on over here? I have pictures to prove that all these issues were here, um, when we got the car, but we didn't bring it up, and that was our fault. But ultimately, I think that Tesla, all these people who work there, right? They should have caught this kind of stuff. Why didn't they catch this kind of stuff? Yeah. So that kind of stuff. Like I think that if you guys were working at a car dealership and you see a car like that, you would be like, what the hell? How can this pass? Like, yeah, and they have like an inspecting checklist, and I don't know, maybe they need a rate. Make sure there's no crumbs in the cup holder as one, but that's kind of common sense over here. So I will talk to you guys later, and you guys take care. This video was longer than I anticipated, but I think it was pretty freaking thorough. And whatever you do, whatever car you pick up from a dealer or store or whatnot, please make sure you go over the whole area with a flashlight. I don't want you guys to find yourself in a situation like we do, where we have to bring the car back, try to find the car key, and if you get distracted, just say like, okay, what are my goals? Okay, make sure I gave them one car key, we get the other car key back, something like that. Um, yeah. So my leg is okay. It's my foot is a little swollen at the site still, but I have good feeling it's gonna be okay. But I'm still checking it. Let me see, is my internet still working up? Okay, so I don't know if I am live or not right now, but it's hard to say because like sometimes I see OBS is like it says it disconnects and then reconnects. But just gonna repeat myself for anybody who gave me birthday wishes yesterday. I really appreciate it, and if you guys sent prayers to my uncle, I really appreciate that as well. I know he's in good hands, and I know he's with good people on the other side. And yeah, I continue to pray for my uncle. And yeah, I know he's around there. So he's around and just watching over people. So you guys take care. And yeah, I'll talk